Alright, you guys, same deal as yesterday. If you don't want to watch me at this angle, just give me a dislike. Please leave a rude comment down below. And if you don't like the extra noise, just click off now, because that's going to get worse as soon as I get on the highway. So I'm headed home from work right now. It's Sunday. The Lions lost to the Minnesota Vikings, as usual. And I was back in high limits again today. So $50 to $2,000 are the table limits. And I had 3 players all day today. I dropped about $75 in tips, so it was a pretty shitty tip day for me. But that's fine because we split tips. And so I'm going to go ahead and talk about my first player of the day. It's an old Asian lady. I shouldn't say too old. She's probably about 50, maybe 55. And she bought in for $500. And she immediately started complaining because she lost the first hand. That's fine. I kind of brought her around. She was having a good time. And she's like, I'm down $5,000 today, this and that. And I was like, oh, that sucks, blah, blah. And she ended up telling me she's down $60,000 overall this month, and did not tell her husband because they don't share bank accounts. But she's got to get it back because she needs that money. Well, if you needed that 60 grand, you probably shouldn't have came to the casino with it. And I don't know at what point you decide to stop playing, if you're losing money or whatever. She was mad at the cards, which is new and different, because usually you guys get mad at the dealers, but she was mad at the cards, and she was saying these are bullshit cards. And I was like, yeah, I agree. And then she explained to me about how it's not the dealer's fault and it's the card's fault, but people get that confused. I was like, yeah, all the time. I've been threatened to be shot and beat up and this and that. One guy threatened to meet me out back, wait for me when I get out of work in the employee parking lot, and I said to him, well, I don't know why you'd want to wait around that long just to get your ass kicked. And the table started laughing, and we ended up becoming friends a couple months later. He had a couple good runs, and he liked my humor and the fact that I didn't take no shit from nobody. But that lady ended up losing. It's kind of sucked because she was a nice lady. She actually tipped me $25 or $27, and she was down $5,000, so to tip $27, that's nice of her. But she came right when the Lions started playing, and I'm a Lions fan. I know I have my Steelers jersey on, but that's because I approve of standing for the national anthem. So I have Villanueva's jersey. I wear it every Sunday. But, so she came right when the Lions started, and she lost all of her money right when halftime started. And it was also at my break, so I had to miss the entire first half of the game, which sucks. And then I came back from break, and then there was another guy at my table. And I was like, great, I gotta get rid of this guy because I have to watch the second half of the Lions game. It's one of the perks of being back in high limits. You get to watch the games. Usually, because there's not a lot of players that come back there and play. And thankfully, I took his money. Well, I didn't take his money. He gave his money to the casino fairly quickly, to where I got to watch the last half of the third quarter and all of the fourth quarter. And then I got a guy that came in, he bought in for $500, lost it all in maybe 6 hands, bought in for another $500, had it up to fucking $1,500. If he hit a blackjack when he had an odd number, so if he was betting 75, I had to pay him $112.50. He would bet the $2.50 for me or whatever, which is nice, but we appreciate those. And I ended up getting about a $50 tip from him or so overall. And he ended up, he was in for $1,000 total, walked away with $3,000. And he goes, I still owe you a tip. He goes, but I'm still down in the day. I got to go eat. I'll come back. And I was like, all right, well, I won't be here because I'm leaving soon. But it was nice to deal to him because he didn't get upset. We talked about Biloxi, which I used to live down in Florida. I was stationed at Hurlburt Field, so I used to go to Biloxi quite a bit. And we talked about Atlantic City and Vegas, so I had good conversation with him. Even though he wasn't tipping all the time, he was throwing me $2.50 here and there. So $50 after dealing to him for a couple hours, not bad. The casino pays me $5.74 an hour, so he paid me more than the casino, even though we split them. Now the dealer next to me at the other table had a guy and his wife. His wife was mainly playing. She was betting between $100 to $300 per hand, and she was playing 2 hands at a time. And she was betting $5 on each hand for the dealer all day, every hand. And she was there for most of the day. I would say she was there for about 7 hours. And that dealer dropped about $4,000 in tips. So I know he's thinking, well, it sucks today that we have to split tips, because that's a whole 2 months worth of money and tips that we split usually for dealers. But so he had a great day dealing. Those are the type of people we like to see win. She was only in for $2,000 and played that entire time betting that big, so she did good. And she ended up leaving a loser. She walked away with $0, even though she gave the dealer $4,000, to where if she wouldn't have tipped at all, she could have had $4,000 extra dollars. She said she'll be back. She had a good time. She was hooting and hollering, having a high five time, just like you see on the commercials, which is rare. So overall, today was a pretty good day at work. Didn't really have any jackasses come down. The lady who was down $60,000, she didn't play by the book. She was asking for my advice, and then if I gave it to her and it didn't work, that was my fault. So she stopped taking my advice. She would call the floor over and ask for advice against a soft 16 versus 7, and just other random stupid hands that, you know, common sense would tell you to do the right thing. And when I told her what to do and it didn't work out, she didn't want to take my advice. Call the floor over, the floor would give her the same advice. And so yeah, you know, make sure to subscribe, because I'm gonna do these videos every day. I work 5 days a week, and you know, usually I have more jackasses at the table. I'll be able to tell funnier stories, and I don't always deal blackjack, so I'll have other games I can talk about. But that was pretty much it for today. So